Back to Black Site tonight. I want to talk to you about former NFL Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson saying that he has sources that the NFL owners had a collusion plan against not drafting Shedeur Sanders. First, I would like for you to subscribe to this channel, hit that like button, hit that notification button, but also comment on this video. Former Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson said during an interview he had a source within the NFL who said they, as owners, had a collusion plan not to draft Shedeur Sanders. He said they wanted to teach Shedeur a lesson in the Sanders family. Eric Dickerson said he had already made $17 million. He had his legendary brand. He had his own home. He had his own Rolls Royce. So it seems like the owners wanted to teach him and the Sanders lessons by not drafting him. When he was drafted in the fifth round, the NFL owners said no. But I believe Roger Goodell told Eddie Haslam to draft him because President Trump stepped in and he wrote a post saying, y'all better draft Shedeur Sanders, or you're probably going to have serious problems with collusions with a lawsuit. So they finally went on ahead and drafted Shedeur Sanders. But this isn't the first time that the NFL has been caught colluding against free agency, trying to collude against certain players. And Shedeur Sanders was a person simply because of his name, his family, his father, that they could make a big example. They wouldn't do it with Arch Manning, who's coming out next year. They wouldn't do it with the Manning family. But they wanted to keep the Negroes, the black players, in control and put fear in their hearts. If you upset the apple cart, you will get treated just like Shedeur says. Everybody knows that he was either the first or second best quarterback in this draft. So why wasn't he drafted? They made up an excuse when he went to the Giants, that Brian Dable. They said he didn't know the board. They said he's not intelligent. That's a lie. And they're saying the same thing in Cleveland. So if Cleveland wanted to trade him, which they probably will not trade him because they're making so much money off his jersey and making so much money off his paraphernalia, that they'll try and put him on injured reserve, or even if they cut him, put him on a practice squad, or they might even keep him on a 53-man roster because he's a huge moneymaker. He's probably leading the NFL right now in jersey sales. But everybody had to know that there was a collusion plan. You just don't let a talent like this go. He had no red flags. He was not, he had no personal, no financial problems. Yes, he drove a little bit too fast earlier this year, but that's the only thing that he had going on. And they still decided to collude against Shedeur Sanders. Why is anybody shocked? They can't stand the Sanders family having their own media. You know, they're on Amazon Primes. His father has a show on Tubi. His brother, Deion Sanders Jr., is filming them wherever they go. They don't like that. They don't like that the Sanders family has put their foot into the NFL's business, financial business. Then he signed this new special deal, in which he get a cut of everything NIL, name, image, and likeness. They don't like that. So they want to teach anybody who comes forward that you stay on that NFL plantation and you don't veer away. Because if you do, you're going to get the same treatment as Shedeur Sanders. And it's sad to watch that they would pull this in 2025. But if you notice, this truly is the first person, Eric Dickerson, who spoke out against this. I think it's other people who know. I think Mike Tomlin know. I think a lot of these coaches know. I think a lot of insiders know, but they don't want to lose jobs. What they did to Shedeur Sanders. How can you slip to the fifth round? How? You see the talent on the field. They don't like his attitude. There's plenty of players in the NFL who got bad attitude, criminal records, domestic violence, everything you can think of. But they go after this man because his father is well spoken. He loves his son. They're a family. They don't like the family story. If he was a son of a single mother, oh, they would love him. She'll be kissing, Eddie Haslam, Jerry Jones, or whoever's feet. And they would love to see that story. But they don't love to see the story when the father is in the son's life. Because that's not the portrait that America has painted. They have painted the absentee father. But in this circumstances, this father has guided his son's career ever since Little League. And they don't want that story to be told. And it seems like they have pushed this kid to the fourth string. Does anybody think that this Shedeur Sanders is a fourth string quarterback? He should at least be a backup anywhere. But this is what the NFL has relegated him to. Being behind Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Dan Pickett. Are you serious? So Eric Dickerson spoke the truth. But they don't care. This league right now wants to keep the slaves on the plantation. And they want them to know if you veer off, if you veer off the road, if you veer off the plan, if you veer off the shield, you're going to be treated like Shedeur Sanders. And everybody has gotten the message. Dion hasn't said nothing. He told Shedeur right now to be on your best behavior because they're looking to get rid of you. All he can do is perform. And that's all he has done since he's been in Cleveland Browns training camp. This is sad to watch, but this is the state of the NFL. And this is the state of America right now. He wanted to teach this boy a lesson. That's all they wanted to do. And also teach Dion and the Sanders family a lesson. I want to thank you for listening to Black Site. Hope you subscribe to this channel. Smash that like button, but also share this video.